So he wanted to have his sort of road chase as well. So we use a technique called previs. We do an animation, basically, of what we think the whole story is going to be about. We spent about 6 months, actually, in pre-visualisation, designing that sequence.
So that's 6 months preparation before any filming took place, and then this amazing sequence was shot in 7 locations, making it one of the most complex in Harry Potter history.
How do you know you're getting all the right bits and pieces and you've got the shots that you need?
It's a long process. The opening chase, there will be something significantly shot from that sequence from April 2009, and we'll finish shooting it in April 2010. Every month there is something to do with that sequence.
So it takes a year just to put together that short, very dramatic and important, but that sequence.
Which will be under 2 minutes long.
"14 months they've been filming, and it all ends right here, all that time, all that effort, in a muddy bog in the reeds by the Weasley's house."
After the break, we go behind the scenes of a Weasley wedding.
I had to dance with Daddy Weasley, the 2 of us.
We find out what Voldemort's up to.
He murdered some people in some very, very...
gruesome.
Yeah, I don't even know the right words for it.
And get under the skin of these extraordinary creatures.
Master Weasley, so good to see you again.
Trainers.
After all those Harrys, I need a bit of a rest, so I've come to Ron's bedroom. And look, even teenage wizards can't find the wash basket. I'm gonna have a bit of a kip. See you in a bit. Everybody loves a good wedding, even wizards. And finally, in this film, we get to have one here in the grounds of the Burrows, which is the Weasleys' family seat. The big question is, which of the Weasleys is it getting hitched? It's not Ron, is it? What can you tell us about the wedding?
Yeah, that's quite exciting. It was quite cool to have kind of all the family back and all getting dressed up and
To meet your brother Bill?
Yes, yeah. It's kind of about time, yeah.
Don't worry, girls, Ron's still on the market. It's actually the wedding of his older brother, Bill.
Hello, Harry. Bill Weasley. Oh, pleasure to meet you.
We meet our son Bill, who's Donal plays. This episode, it was like, who are you?
I'm your son.
Oh yes, that's it. You've been in, where have you been?
A good-looking, dashing chap with great taste in women.
Yeah.
And what was
He's Brendan's son, of course, so it's becoming a family firm now.
Did you feel like mother of the groom? Was it sort of an emotional occasion for you?
It was, my boy, yes. No, I loved it. It was just great fun.
Not
I
that
love
you'd
all
met
the
your
scenes.
boy before, of course.
No,
he
was new.
He was
Donal,
new.
yes. Hadn't met him before. But I love the scenes with great crowds of us together because they're good fun.
There was a lot of standing around and kind of greeting people. That was kind of what we were doing for a lot
Which
of
is,
the
let's face it, exactly like a real wedding.
I've never been to a wedding. It was my first wedding. My first wedding.
Hold on, you've never been to a wedding?
Never been to a wedding.
I assumed you say you've never been married, but you didn't... How old are you now?
I'm 26. I've got friends.
But they've just never invited you?
That's what... What?
What? No
What
one...
do you mean they never invited? They haven't gotten married. How old are you?
I'm 35. But I was going to say... But I would assume by the time you're 26, you'd have been to a wedding. No one you know has ever got married?
No.
No,
well,
no family
I've had
members?
friends. I've been working. I'm busy.
I had to dance with Daddy Weasley, the 2 of us. Yeah, it was really lovely.
Everybody
Pretty
dressed
dress. Yeah.
How was the dress?
Gorgeous, very floaty.
Lovely.
Gorgeous. Just slid over my padding. Lovely. You go and Ben, you can touch them
lovely.
because they're not real. Ben! Actually, you touched a bit of the real.
Did I?
No,
Never
you
felt one like that.
No.
Mrs. Weasley's. I think I need a
They're
one.
Mrs. Weasley.
They're Mrs. Weasley.
Yes.
Actually, it's an absolute pleasure to talk to you. I think you need to feed the guinea pig.
I will. I'm going to feed it. Please explain that they aren't real.
They're not
People will be
real.
writing in. Anyway, I'm going now. These aren't Mrs. Weasley's boots, so can you keep them out of shot? I'm going now.
Thank you, Julie.
Goodbye and thank you.
Do you get a spectacular outfit?
Well, for Hermione, I get a pretty spectacular outfit.
Excellent.
You know, it's kind of sexy, actually.
Really?
I mean, by Hermione's standards.
Hermione's sexy.
Yeah, Hermione's sexy. It's red, quite low cut. You know, she's an action hero. She's coming into a new role, and she's a young woman now, so she's allowed to be a bit sexy.
I'm not sure the same can be said for Xenophilius Lovegood, father of Harry's friend Luna, played by Rhys Ifans, who takes dad dancing at a wedding to a whole new level. But it's actually his daughter who's come up with all the moves. And in case you're wondering, those bruises are makeup.
I started looking through the book and Luna dances by herself and she's meant to look as if she's batting away Raxworth's, Harry sort of thinks. And then the next day, David was like, well, after this, you lead him off and maybe you do a sort of a special dance. And I had been thinking of something in my room. I was like, yeah, and it was a bit like that. So I showed it to them and to the choreographer of the steps, and they really liked it. And so they put Rhys doing the same thing, and we sort of turned different ways and changed direction.
So it's going to become a craze?
Yeah.
The Lovegood two-step, or whatever it is, the rap band. Now, it's not just the bride and groom who get presents at this wedding. The new Minister for Magic, Rufus Scrimmager, who's played by the wonderful Bill Nighy, turns up with some very strange presents for Harry, Ron and Hermione.
Herein is set forth the last will and testament of Albus Percival Wulfric Brian Dumbledore.
In this film, we have Bill Nighy playing Scrimmager, who is fantastic. We have kind of eventually reached consensus on how to say his name, and we're going with Scrimmager. I think that's how we've ended up saying it.
Because I'm looking at it, and is it spelt Scrimmager? It doesn't feel
kind of spelt Scrimmager.
My character is called Rufus Scrimgeour, but I'm surprised I can pronounce it. He is a minister, or rather, let's get serious, the Minister of Magic, and he's a very, very important person, therefore. And his job in the movie is to deliver Dumbledore's will to Harry and to try and interpret it, and interpret what it means and what it will mean to Harry and to the future. And Harry won't tell him. He brings a deluminator for Rupert, which can turn light on and off at will.
Brilliant.
He brings the Tales of Beedle the Bard, which are magical children's stories, for Emma. And he brings the snitch that's used at Quidditch for young Harry. He tries to get Harry to tell him the true significance of these objects. But I can't really tell you anymore because I have to kill myself.
And then, bang, out of nowhere, there's a message from Voldemort. All of the Death Eaters apparate into the wedding, and there's just kind of like chaos. Kind of like, I think it feels as if the war really has begun now, and like nowhere's safe.
They are coming. They are coming.
Obviously, Hermione, Harry, and Ron have to get out of there.
As Voldemort's presence and dominance is growing, Malfoy Manor becomes the heartbeat of his operations. Home to